at my corporate Midtown office. It's Monday morning. I have my chai latte to my right and my mouse on my left. My computer is right in the middle. I just got back from vacation the day before. My boss is now out on vacation, so I have a mountain of emails to go through and a whole lot of things to do. As I normally do on a Monday morning, I open up my calendar and I see to get the landscape of what there is for me to accomplish this week. I see that between the normal hours of 9 to 5, I have a million conference calls and meetings, like normal. I see on Tuesday evening, I'm running a board meeting for my nonprofit. I run a nonprofit called Lend a Hand Uganda, and I raise money to get Ugandan orphans and their families out of poverty. I do this by providing lunches to children because they wouldn't otherwise be fed at home. So the lunch is an incentive for them to come to school. And I'm meeting with my board so that we can map out our plan for the next year. On Wednesday morning, I see that I'm leading a networking group. There are going to be 100 people in attendance. People are going to come together, they're sharing who they are and what they do, and they're exchanging business ideas so that they can make connections. I definitely have to bring my A game this week. On top of all of that, I also want to make sure that I get to yoga, because I like yoga. So I want to do yoga Monday night and Wednesday night. And I see that on Thursday, I'm going out of town. I'm heading up to see my family because my niece's birthday party is Saturday. This is a normal, busy week for me. Now, people ask me all the time, how is it that you can do all the things that you do? And usually I just shrug my shoulders and I say, well, I just get shit done. So I start to dive into my emails, and I'm working furiously at my computer, and all of a sudden my phone goes off, and I see that it's a text from my niece, Lexi. Now, Lexi is about to turn 10, and she has long, red, wavy hair, and she is crazy. In my family, we call her Coco Loco. So I read the text, and it says, Aunt Amy, may I please have a chocolate llama cake with chocolate chip filling, please and thank you. And I'm like, a llama cake? Now, at one point in my career, I had been a professional baker. So I know how to make a cake, but I had never made a llama cake before. So I start researching, and I look up pictures, and at first all I could find was that purple piñata llama, right? But just really not reflective of who Lexi was. So we text back and forth, sending different ideas and pictures, and finally, we settle. She sends me a text, and she's like, can I have a no-prob llama cake? Apparently, this is an actual thing. So of course, I text back, yes, Lexi, of course, no problema. I can make you a llama cake. And I put the phone down, and I start to get that pit in the bottom of my stomach. Because I had just looked at my calendar, and I realized it is going to take me 8 hours to make this cake. Plus, I have to find time to go and shop for a whole bunch of supplies that I need. So I look at my calendar and I try to see, is there anything I can move, and I could, like, where can I create, and no. There is not enough time to get all of this shit done. I could feel the pit in my stomach just like creeping up, the shoulders just rolling in, and I'm like, I have a big problema. Now, I realize in this moment that I can either let all the shit hit the fan, or I can get shit done. So I take out a piece of paper, and I fold it in half and in half again. I open it up, I turn it the other way, I fold it in half and half again. And down the side of it, I write the letters S-H-I-T. This now becomes my shit sheet. Now shit, in my world, stands for stop and see, ask for help, set an intention, and take action. So let's start with the S. Stop and see. I have all of these things swirling around in my head of all of the shit that I have to get done. But in order to be able to do any of it, first I have to be able to actually see it, right? I have to get clear. What are the actual things I need to do? So I try to think, well, what are the 4 things that really are involved in making a llama cake? So first I have to buy all the ingredients. Then I have to bake the cake. Then I have to make it in the shape of a llama, because, oh, by the way, did I tell you Lexi's expecting a 3-dimensional llama cake? And then I have to decorate it. However, once I get clear on those 4 things and I write them down on my shit sheet, all of a sudden the bigness of this project starts to disappear. Now, what there is for me to do is to ask for help. I take a look at my sheet and I figure out where and who can I actually ask for help. So I pick up my phone and I call my father. Now my father's retired and I catch him sitting in the backyard. His still jet black hair contrasts against the green of the trees behind him. And I say, Dad, we're making a llama cake. Of course he's like, a what? I'm sorry. And then at first he starts to protest, but then he starts to realize that I have inherited his love of figuring out how to make things. And he also knows that there's probably never a chance he's going to actually say no to me. So he goes, okay, sweetheart, what is it that you need? So I say, Dad, I need some PVC pipes to make the legs of the llama, and I need a plywood board to hold it, and I probably need something like straws or something to be able to support because, you know, we're going to build this whole big giant llama. And he's like, no problema. I've got all that stuff. All that stuff's in the basement. Super simple. The only thing, he says, I don't have are straws. But don't worry, I'll go to Starbucks and I'll just steal some. Okay, Dad, you go do that. Then I asked him, can you put Mom on the phone? He's like, oh yeah, she just got home. Now, my mother drives a shiny red Beetlebug convertible, and she had just gotten back from teaching Zumba class at the senior center. And I asked her, Mom, can you go to the grocery store at some point this week and pick up all the ingredients that I need? She's like, yeah, sure, just let me know what you need. So I tell her all of the ingredients, including the fact that this cake needs 6 pounds of butter. So she's not very happy that this cake requires 6 pounds of butter, but nevertheless, she agrees. Now, in the past, I probably would have just said to myself, you know what? I'm a powerful, strong, independent woman, and I can do everything by myself. Thank you very much. But it's in that moment that I actually realize the power of asking for help. Now, at this point, a lot of people would just jump straight into action, start doing a lot of shit. Instead, what I like to do is to set an intention. How do I want to be feeling as I'm going through my week? What experience do I want to create? It would have been very easy for me to pick up the phone, call my brother, interrupt him from running his company, and say, you know what? I have too much shit to do. I don't have time to make a freaking llama cake for your daughter. Why don't you go to the bakery, buy a cake, I will order a llama cake topper on Amazon, ship it to you, and we'll call it done. That's not the experience I wanted to create for my niece. So I start to picture, and I picture her at her party. Her friends are all gathered around. She's taking that breath in to blow out her candles. And I realize that all I want her to be able to experience is feeling festive. So I write down feeling festive on my shit sheet. And inside of that, my whole entire week just flies by. I am feeling festive everywhere. On my conference calls, at my meetings, like everything is just totally festive. I'm sharing, everyone wants to hear more stories about the llama cake. They want to see pictures when it's done. Everyone in my whole entire circle is invested now in this llama cake because I'm feeling festive. Now it's time to take action. So the party is set. My brother and sister-in-law have ordered the plates that have llamas on it. They've ordered the napkins that have llamas on it. They've ordered the balloons that have llamas on it. This is a whole entire llama party. The only thing left is to make the llama cake. It's Friday morning at 7 a.m. I arranged to work remotely from my parents' house that day. I got up early so I can get the cakes in the oven and have them finished baking before my 9 a.m. conference call. I walk into the kitchen and I turn on the lights and I see that my mother has laid out all of the ingredients for me. There's measuring spoons, there's mixing bowls, there's all the things she thinks that I'm going to need to make this cake. So I get busy. I take action. I measure out the ingredients, I mix all of the batter, I put the cakes in the oven. The smell of dark chocolate starts permeating the whole entire house. Sure enough, just before my conference call begins, the cakes come out of the oven and that smell just lingers. As my workday winds down, the caking begins. So I get to take action again, and I start layering chocolate cake and chocolate chip filling, layer by layer, building it up the length of the llama's neck. This is getting to be a very tall cake. And all of a sudden, my mother comes into the kitchen and sits down at the counter, and she says to me, you know, I've never actually seen you make a llama cake before. But here she was, watching her daughter make a cake for her granddaughter's birthday. And just knowing that she was there, plus knowing that I had taken the time to stop and see, ask for help, set an intention, it became so simple to take action and finish this cake. All there was left to do was to pick up the pastry bag and start decorating. Now, in our lives, we have bigger problemas than making a llama cake, right? We have our careers, we have our families, we have our relationships, we have our well-being, we have our hobbies, all of the stuff, and it can be so easy to get caught up in all of the shit that there is to do. But I invite you to take a look at where you can stop and see, ask for help, set an intention, and take action. So the next time you find yourself on a Monday morning in your office and you get some request out of the blue that is the straw that breaks the llama's back, and that feeling of overwhelm starts to form in the pit of your stomach, I have a gift for you. Reach under your chairs. So this is your very own shit sheet. When you fill out your shit sheet, you get to get clear on your priorities. You get to stop and see, ask for help, set an intention, and take action. Now go out there and get shit done.